Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this special webinar we are doing here today. I normally do one of this every now and then when I do have the time. It's open for everyone, so you can join. Feel free to share when I do it. Share the link with friends and invite them. Thank you for coming. I hope you had a wonderful week. We still have a day or more to trade. I hope you're getting some pips there. So what we're going to do today, very fast introduction. There were some questions. Can you keep all the questions to the end of the webinar? I will leave time, about 30 minutes for questions. So what I want to do today is go through some of the charts, the majors and some of the crosses on the daily for longer term trades. Trades that are going to happen probably within a week or two from now, but they're going to be very long trades. If you catch one of those, if they happen and you catch one of those, it will be wonderful. You will be able to make a lot of money, right? So if you know how to trade it, of course. If you're in here for the first time, you know, and you don't know how we trade, wait to the end. I will give an introduction to wave theory and how it works and why it works and what it is. So first, let's look at the possible trades setups for this week, next week that is going to happen on all time frames. So we'll do it mostly in the daily because we're not looking for a trade today as such. We're looking for trades in the future. So I'll try to do most charts on daily so that you guys have a good vision of what we're doing here, right? So daily, weekly structure. I think every one of you, if you have some experience as a trader, knows what is a corrective structure and what is an impulsive structure, right? If you don't and you're pretty new, then wait to the end and I'll give you an idea of it. I'll go through it and tell you what it is. So what we are looking at is a possibility. If this was your first wave up, this was a corrective structure, and we are starting a whole new wave here. Now, don't ask me why that is still one wave. We know how we work and how we can do it, right? So I'll just give you an introduction to what we do later on. We have one wave, a correction, another wave, we're making a correction, and we're anticipating one more wave up. So in the near future, which is in the next couple months, because I'm in the weekly chart, the next couple months from now, this dollar index should come to the low, break this low here, and turn to the upside for a sharp impulse like this, or an impulse like this. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. If you get this trade, you shouldn't miss it because this is going to be an amazing trade if it happens. We are forecasting that it will happen, and so far, I think it's good to see that is likely going to happen. So let's look at what is happening right here now. We forecast this downside to happen when it was going up, right? When it was right at the top there, if you find my 2 days chart, you'll find that there's a forecast there. I don't want to go there, but there was a forecast showing this downside for the sell. So what I think this structure is doing, and we look at structures because these structures repeat themselves over and over and over if you know what to look for and if you know how to look for them, if you have the rules that tells you how it works. We have that. So this was an A wave, a B wave, and we are now in a C wave, I believe, right? An A, a B, and we're in the C wave. That would complete or may complete, let me say, may complete the correction. We don't know that. Corrections can be much more complicated. But once this structure is over, you're going to have a move to the upside. Whether this is the start of the impulse or not is a big question. We will watch it, how this starts to go, and then we will make that decision. Is it the start of an impulse or is it a corrective structure going up for more corrections? Right? But there will be good trades. If you're trading in the 60 minutes and the 240, there will be wonderful trades. Like there are wonderful trades on this one, going up and then coming down, right? Remember what we said, and we are looking at patterns. Remember, these are patterns. These patterns repeat themselves. This has nothing to do with support and resistance. It has nothing to do with what the chart did in the past. Whether it stopped there in the past, whether it didn't stop there in the past, whether there's an advanced pattern you're going to draw there, whether there's a horizontal line you draw there, that has nothing to do with what the structure is doing. The structure will do what the structure will do. And if you understand the structure, all you have to do is figure out how to capture the moves as they're happening within a certain structure. That is all. It has nothing to do with anything, not even the trend lines I put there. That has nothing to do with it. Those are just tools we are using to tell us that a likely spot where the structure could turn from is here. Not not a horizontal line, not the advanced pattern or anything that tells you it's going to. The structure has to tell you it's turning there. So when we saw the structure telling us that this thing is about to turn, we said, be careful, we're about to turn, and we turned. It's not going to go up in a straight line. You don't have to freak out if you're in the trade and it's pulling back. It never moves in a straight line, right? Can everybody please keep your questions and your thing for the very end? I will answer them. We will look at them. You will make an impulse, you will make a correction, and you'll make an impulse. That is the basic element of trading. I've done this in every single one of my webinars. So if you make an impulse, you will make a correction, and then you will make another impulse. This is the basic element of trading. It is not as simple as I put it, but that's the basic element if you know what to look for. So if you're in the trade and it's pulling back, you have to make a decision. Do you want to keep it to come to the top? Do you know it's going to come? Do you have the confidence to keep it to that? If you don't, you take off the trade and then you wait for the next entry. If you have the confidence, you know what this should do and what you should be looking for before you get the next trade. Right? So first we'll be looking for this to happen. That will take a couple of weeks to a month, maybe. I don't know how long it's going to take. Well, we have an idea, but we're not going to discuss that in here. It will take some time, and then we'll go here. We would be looking at this pattern here. And this pattern here will tell us, right? This pattern in here, this will tell us if we're going to get this next move here. The way this pattern behaves, the way that's structured itself will tell us it's going to break out or it's going to go down. And by the time it gets to the top, we will be able to tell you with very, very high probability if this move is going to happen or if we're going to break out. With very, very high probability, we will be so accurate in telling you that, like we were accurate in telling you these, like we were accurate in telling you that turning point, and like we were accurate in telling you these turning points. If you look at these charts in a 2-day, let me go in the 2 days, in the 2 days chart, and you will see how much time we can tell you where this thing is turning. See that? We know that was going to go down. That was a possible way we thought this wave structure will develop. It's all about understanding the structure and having the confidence to say this is what it will do. We're coming to this low. See that? We're coming back to this low here. That is this low. And we're about to do there. We are going to make this move up now. We're in this move here. And then we're going to make this move down. And then we're going to look for that up. See? Nothing new. I said we're going to make 1, 2, 3, and we're making about that. We're doing it slightly different. It's behaving slightly different. Well, you don't expect me to put the arrows exactly how it should be, right? I don't think they'll just follow my arrows exactly, but it's an indication of the direction. So we are making the down, we're making the up, the down, one more down, one more up, and then we're going to start that big move. Don't miss this move if it happens, even if you miss everything in here. This move will triple your account, not only double your account. It's going to triple your account if you know how to trade it correctly. If you understand structure and you know how to trade, that will triple your account. Trading is not about catching 20 pips. Right? Trading is not about catching 10 pips or 20, 30 pips or 40 pips in the market. That is for amateurs, those who have no clue what they're doing. Trading is for money. So if you know how to trade, you are going to get this big move up. We don't trade the dollar index, right? What we are showing you is a direction of what the dollar index will do. If we understand what the dollar index will do, we will understand what the rest of the currencies will do. See, so let's go to the euro and let me show you that very same chart. Only it's in the opposite direction. So what you're looking for? We're looking for this to do this. Go back here, break this top, and then go down. So what do you do if the dollar index starts to go down? You trade this to the downside. Right? So we're thinking that in the daily, we have a big move to the upside on the dollar index and a big move to the downside on the euro, which is quite, if it should happen, then we should see a big move to the downside on the pound, on the Aussie, and on the New Zealand, right? Because if it's a dollar movement that is creating this, and that's what we think is going to happen, the dollar strength is going to create weakness in the other currencies, then we should see it. It's not that the other currencies are getting weak. They're simply getting weak in relationship to the dollar, right? I hope you guys understand that very clearly. They're not getting weaker. The currencies themselves, they're getting, is the dollar getting stronger. And once you understand that it's the dollar getting stronger, that is important. Yes, it's recorded. So we think this ruble, this one has some kind of a consolidation in here to happen, and then we're going to look for this move up, and then we're going to look for the move down. So let me show you that in the lower time frame. Let's say 4 hour, for example. Right? Nothing new in the world. We knew this was going to happen. We know this was going to come. This one could come pretty deep, almost about this area here, and then go back up. Or it could be pretty sideways. It's a corrective structure. We don't know how corrective structure behave until they start forming. Until it's about almost ending, then we can tell you what that corrective structure would look like. But here's what you can do. If you get a correction here, by Monday, you will not get this trade tomorrow. By Monday, you will get a trade down here. If you get a next correction like this, we get another trade down. At this level, we'll be looking for buy opportunities. This is not a support level. There is nothing like support in the charts. Let me remind you, if you're first time in my webinar, you are not in the 1 week free webinar we do. There is nothing like support or resistance in the chart. If you don't know that, you probably need to learn to become a trader. What we are looking at here is a statistics, collection of data plotted on a chart. And data, as it is, has no support and resistance. It is just a collection of data. They do form patterns. When you plot the data on the chart, you can see clearly drawn patterns. You can see very clear patterns that behave the same way day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. They move in wave patterns. Everything in the world moves in wave patterns, as is light and as is sound or as in anything you know. Nothing moves in a straight line. So you're going to see wave patterns. And if you understand the wave patterns, you will know how to trade it. You will have an advantage in your trading. So when I said it's going to come about this area here, and then we're going to look for a turn to the upside, it's not that I'm looking for some kind of a support here. It is the way this wave pattern should behave. That is all. It's understanding how the wave pattern behave. And if you're a support resistance trader and you draw a line here, you may get lucky. It may bounce off of your line. If you put a stop here, you may get lucky. 90% of the time, you will not get lucky. They will take your stop out and then go. And this pattern will still be very valid. We will wait until the pattern at the end here, where the pattern within the end here shows us a sign that it is exhausted and it is ready to go. We can look at this pattern and tell by the way this pattern is forming in a lower time frame that it is about to go up. And I can show you that example of what I mean by that. When you look at these patterns here, when I looked at this pattern yesterday, I said, okay, or day before yesterday, I said, this pattern is telling me it is about to go up. It's not about a trend line. The trend line I put afterwards, that trend line was not there. You don't need that trend line. This trend line, you don't need it. As a matter of fact, sometimes the trend line don't work the way you wanted them to work because it's not about the trend line. Let me show you one, for example. Remember this one? I posted this chart here that we're going to go to the top here and then come down back. We're going to go tag the line and then come down back. Let's see what happened to that. See what happened? We're supposed to consolidate in here, go to the top and then come down. Everybody remember that? Somebody keeps asking for control. You're not going to get control. Guess what happened? They came here, they went up back like this, and then they came down. Let's see that. Amazing. They came low. They came to this area. They went up back. See that spike there? There's a spike at the top there. If I can make it bigger. Yep. We came to this level. We went up. We came down sideways, and they gone. You never get this move to come this way. It was supposed to come to the trend. Instead, they just come to this top here and go down. Because it's not about the trend line. It's about a pattern. What I'm looking for is a 1, 2, 3 wave pattern and then go down. I thought this third wave was going to be like this. And it never turned out to be like that because you don't know what the wave will turn out to be like when you're forecasting the chart. Right? But they did come down, and that is a great thing. We caught some of those trades coming down here. We caught this one, we caught this one, and we caught some smaller ones in here. Now we're looking for the trades to the upside. So we're telling you it's going to come up. Take off this one. That has no validity anymore. And we think it may come to this line. Remember again, it's not about the lines. We think it may go to that line. So we will watch the structure as it develop here. We will take the trade. And if it goes only to that distance, that will be okay with us. If it goes beyond the line and start to come down, that will be okay with us. That tells us what a different story about the structure. So we will watch, and let me come back to the euro. We will watch for exhaustion. We'll watch for the patterns in the euro to tell us when it's ready to go up. Not about support and resistance. It's all about what the pattern is doing. So this pattern at some point will tell us when it's ready to go up, and we will not miss that buy. But at this point, you will see the pattern is telling you we're heading for downside. You need to exit your trade, wait for a setup, and then you trade it to the downside. It's that simple. But it's simple if you know what you're looking at, right? If you understand what you're looking at. If you understand the behavioral patterns. If you know what type of patterns you're looking at, and if you know how they behave. Then it becomes extremely simple. It becomes a joy to trade. You're not cursing the computer, and you're not getting very emotional, and you're not getting crazy about it because it didn't do what you wanted to do, or it's not going in your direction. You just follow the charts smoothly. Right? So we will be looking for this big move. Don't miss it. There's a big move coming earlier than that. Well, I should say a pretty big move, not as we like to have them, but a very good move. Right? So we have some trades. We can trade even within this lower time frame here. Like I said, there is a trade in the lower time frame if you want. Wait for this to make a correction. It will. If it makes a correction like this, next week I will post this chart out telling you there's a sell setup. If I see that. If it doesn't give us a sell setup, we will ignore it. Right? We'll just ignore it and wait for the buy. Pang, remember we're looking for big moves, right? Pang is a pretty similar structure, what we think. So let's go to the daily. Remember, we're starting in the daily. So if we think that the dollar index, I will go to the weekly to this one just to show you something, because we did this in very detail today in our trading room. Now in our webinar, we did a very, very big detailed work in here. You may see some labeling and all of that. Let me take them off. Not something we normally share, right? Our labeling is only for internal purposes. So I'll take them off, right? Somebody posted a chart like this in my chart, and they're counting it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we said, no, that's not what we're looking at. And we are very sure about it. We are not looking at it like that. We're looking at this as a possible A, B, C structure. And we think that this one may be making, it's not confirmed yet. We don't have enough information for that. But we think it may be making a W, X, Y, X, Z pattern, or an ending diagonal as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending diagonal C wave pattern. It has to confirm that as yet. We don't know which one it's going to be. Right? It's looking more like an ending diagonal if you ask me. But we don't know that. Oh, there is a lot of difference. We can't go into that difference. There's really huge difference in those two patterns that I'm telling you there. Really, really huge difference. But that is a whole days or a week lessons when I start. That is why our course is 6 weeks, right? Not 1 day or 2 day or 3 classes. Right? The course is in detail. It's very detailed, and it's 6 weeks. It's not 3 days, right? Or three classes or whatever. It's a 6 weeks training, and that's the basic, the start of it. Yep, Nora can tell you. Nora is one of our students. So watch it. What we are thinking on this is that we will probably have a corrective structure back to this level, making a 1, 2, 3, and then if this proves at this point to us, remember, based on what we see here, this could break out to the upside, but we don't think it's going to break to the upside because I believe they will come to retest this low. Come here, retest the low, complete the pattern, and then started that move to the upside, right? So there is a very big move to the downside first. If you look at, we are in a weekly chart. There is a big move to the downside first. Remember, the dollar index has a move to the upside. This one has a big move to the downside. So let's look at that on the daily. And on the daily, we think this should go up. I posted this already in the Elliott Wave room, and I think we're not interested in the sell. We'll be interested in this one if it breaks. We'll be interested in that trade, and then we'll be interested in the trade to the downside coming to this level. At this point, we'll be looking for the upside. So there's a big move to the downside here. First, some more upside, like the euro. First, some more upside, and then a big move to the downside. Right? So we're seeing some kind of a similarity in them. This is not correlation. right? So let's not get started in that. It's not correlation. We are seeing dollar strength to come. We see dollar index has some more down and then huge strength to the upside. We see euro has some more to the upside and a move to the downside. We see that the pound has some more to the upside and then a downside. So I think we should see the very similar structure in the Aussie, right? So let's put the Aussie to the weekly and see. What are the chances that Aussie is going to do the very same thing? Aussie is going to come to this top here and then probably come down here. There's a very, very strong probability for that to happen. Also, Aussie structurally could break out. Structurally, as we look at what Aussie is doing right now, it could break out of this pattern. If Aussie breaks out of this pattern, we will have huge movement on all the Aussie pairs because remember, dollar, euro, pound, and the dollar index is showing a different move from what Aussie is showing us, right? If they break out. I am not expecting the breakout, although we do have divergence here, right? We do have divergence in this chart. See that? We have very strong divergence in here. I am not expecting them to break out. I think they will make some moves at the top here, some more upside. And by the way, it's not a sell. If you're looking at this area here and you think that you got to be selling here to the downside, you have no idea what you're doing. That doesn't work. If you see that nonsense, run from it. It doesn't work. That's not how the chart behaves. Those lines have this, what it did here has nothing to what it's going to do here. It has zero relationship in what it did here and what it's going to do here. Absolutely nothing. What they did here, they did that way back then. The conditions for trading, the economical conditions, everything else you can think of in the world has changed from then to now. So they're not going to do the same thing. The structure is different. The conditions are different. The cost is different. Everything is totally different. So we think that we will be monitoring this move as it goes up. And we will be monitoring it for weakness and for a structure at the top here that tells us this is about to end. And then we're going to look for the downside. If we see that structure as the chart that I posted yesterday, making an assumption that that is the structure we will look at, if we see that structure, you have an amazing trade to the downside that you should not miss. See that? It's showing upside, but sideways, not very strong upside. You see, they're going up, but sideways, like they did here. Up, but sideways, and eventually they turn to the downside. So if we see that similarity of pattern, not exactly, but similarity of pattern in this, which means it's going to push up, it's going to pull back, push up, pull back, and they may be doing this. And if we see a pattern here that says downside, you take this trade and you keep it all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom, because it could go. Right? It could go. So this is what you need to look for. This is a very big move to come. But here's what is amazing. What if it breaks? Let's assume this thing breaks. If this thing breaks, I'll be one happy person that I'm wrong if it breaks it. Because let me tell you what is going to happen if this breaks. If this break, we are coming up here. This move will be much more amazing than this move will ever be. Because if we break this thing, we're looking for a structure that is going to be totally different. Good. We're looking for a structure that is going to push this way above this top here. And if you look at the moves when they go up, if you look at the moves when they go up, if you look at the moves when they go up, you can see that these moves are much more stronger than this move's coming down. See that? So the move to the upside is going to be much better. One way or the other, you're going to have within the next couple of months. It's not remember you were in the weekly chart. This thing will take a couple of months to happen. But one way or the other, you're going to have some really amazing trades if you know how to trade that pattern going up and if you know how to stick to that trend, right? Remember, it's easy when you look at the charts like this, but when you have to trade it, if you don't know what you're doing, you remember you're trading in a 60 minute. So let's go to the 60 minute. How many traders forecast the sell in this thing already in trading view all over the place, right? It's not a sell. It's way from being a sell. We are not looking for a sell. In the 60 minute, we're looking for a buy opportunity, not a sell, right? As a matter of fact, I saw that, but I am not buying it because I'm not interested in these small moves. It's not that interested to me. I'm looking for that big move to come. And if I get one of that big move and I sit in it, I'll be in it for a long time. So we saw that for my daily classes, we analyze this and we do this and we tell my traders what they should look at, what are the smaller moves, the bigger moves we are looking at, and how to trade them, right? I think very often you can see what the MACD is doing here, the divergence you're getting in here, that this thing will eventually start going down, right? All of you know what divergence is, and you can see that divergence, and we are expecting that down move very soon, right? So the mere fact that it's pushing up a little, that's nothing. You don't have to freak out about that. It's still going up. It will still go up, but you can see what this is doing here, right? So this will go up. It will probably pull back. It may even pull back deeper, go back up, pull back, go back. But at some point here, we're going to start to look for this to break, and that is the trade you really want, not these little trades at the top here, right? So there are very, very nice trades coming up. Watch them. Let's see what the New Zealand is doing. This is an amazing one, right? Weekly chart. See this? You see the dollar, the euro, and the dollar. The dollar has this only to the opposite direction. This is a corrective structure, and this will definitely break down. That's like a 99% chance of this thing breaking down. 1%, it's going to not break down. It doesn't matter how much more this push to the upside, this is going to break down. As a matter of fact, the more it pushes to the upside, the better for me. The more this trade is going to be amazing for me, right? The more that trade. And you can look at these patterns. Let me show you one of those trades that we forecast very early. That is this pattern here. See this pattern here? This was a corrective structure we forecast that this move is going to happen. This was your impulse, that's your correction, and this is happening. So we are getting a very similar impulse. You want to see a similarity of patterns? Look at this one here. See this? See how sharp this move pushed down? Look at this move. This is the amazing piece. See how sharp this move came down before they take off? We are not even getting such a sharp move here, but we are getting a similar pattern. Similarity of this pattern here is what you're getting. This move is an amazing move to come. So everything is lining up correctly. If the dollar strength is to come, we're going to get weakness in the Aussie, weakness in the New Zealand, weakness in the pound, and weakness in the euro, weakness in the yen, weakness in the Swiss, and weakness in the CAD. Right? Can you guys keep all your questions for the end? I'm not reading the chat. Keep it for the end. We have patience. We're going to answer the questions. I'll leave some time for that. Let me show you. Try to figure out what I'm doing here. This is more important than your question about where to enter. Where to enter is a very far away. First, understand what the charts are doing. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm just trying to tell you how you should learn it. Understand what the charts are doing. Where to enter, we'll come to that. So on a daily, we're looking at this pattern here. And if this breaks, this is your trade. That's your first trade you'll be looking for, this structure here. And then the second trade is if they break out here going. This would be really, really amazing trades. Right? So let's see. Daily. Swiss. What should the Swiss show us? The Swiss should show us a very similar structure. The Swiss is actually very close to the dollar index. They're going up. We should see one more down, and then we should see that. Maybe we see this one more down. Maybe we don't see it and we just take off. Remember that one more down is a possibility. It may or may not happen. We are on the daily chart. This could or could not happen. So we will see if we get the upside. So those of you who are in the Swiss trade that you took yesterday, you're doing wonderful. We are getting some correction here in the 4-hour, which is what I said look for. And if you're not in the trade, this would be your chance to get in. Right? That will be your chance to get in. Let's see if they have more in that correction structure. I don't think it's breaking as yet. If it breaks here, you'll have to take the trade above the top of the stop here. But if it continues to do this, then you'll have a much better trade to take the breakout trade and the stop under, right? So watch for this. I think the correction could be more. If it's short, you'll have to manage that. This may be short-lived if it goes. So watch it. I think the correction should be more than that. Swiss, very similar structure, right? Up to the top, maybe one more down, and then definitely big move to the upside. Maybe just breakout. Let's see which one that gives us. CAD. We would be looking at CAD going up probably, but that will be a corrective structure. CAD is the one you probably would want to stay out if it starts to go up, because it is going to be a corrective structure. It is not going to be an impulsive structure. So if CAD starts to go up, dollar index goes up, and Swiss goes up, you probably want to trade the Swiss and just ignore the CAD, because CAD will definitely not be going up violently. CAD broke out to the downside. And that means any up move in the CAD will be a corrective structure. Any up move here will be happening, but it will be happening very slow in a corrective structure for more down. So CAD upside we'll be ignoring. We're not interested in that very much. CAD to the downside we're interested in. Yen, I think yen is in a big corrective structure. I think we have spoke of this before, and I believe this corrective structure will eventually, this huge corrective structure will eventually take off to the upside. They may have some more downside in it, but eventually I see this taking off to the upside. Right? So let's see. Yen is not very clear as yet, as the New Zealand and the euro and all of that are very clear. Yen is not very clear as yet to us what it's doing. So we think small, very short term, maybe some more downside, 4 hour, 1 hour. I think there's a trade actually right now. Not that I make trade calls in here. Not what I do. I don't make trade calls in here, and I don't give advice to traders in webinars because that is illegal. I can't do that. But if I was trading, I think we were looking at a setup for a sell possibility here, right? With a very small stop and a possibility for this. If we were trading this in our trading room, we'd be selling here, we'll be putting a stop here, and we'll be looking for it to retest this low and probably go a little lower, right? We'll be looking for that opportunity. So that is what we would do. I don't know what you guys want to do, right? It's a very small risk for a very good trade, right? And here's the good thing: we know how to manage those trades if they don't go the way the way we want them to go. But very often, if you look at it, they normally go. We're still in the downtrend and we're doing pretty good, right? So if this doesn't go, if it starts to becoming a corrective structure, so let me show you what you mean. If this thing starts to do something like this, we'll take a break-even trade from it. We're okay with that because we'll be looking for a buy setup. But if it is going to go down, then it will start going very aggressively like these, right? Which means the next candle is going to do this, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. And if they start to do that, well, you have a very good trade to the low and then beyond this, right? That is how we would trade it in our trading room, just to give you an idea since you're asking, right? So once some more downside, we think some more downside in the shorter time frame, but in the longer time frame, we think this thing will eventually go up. So keep an eye on this one. Those are the majors we trade. And as you can see, all of them is showing that if the possibility of a dollar strength is to happen, which we think will happen, you're going to have some real nice moves coming, let's say by September, maybe November time, starting that big move. So from now to then, you're probably going to still be in the consolidation. All these trades will still be within the consolidation. They'll be moving up and down, but they will still be within a consolidation zone like the euro is. Euro may stay here for the next couple months, but it's still within a consolidation zone. It is not leaving. But this trade will happen as a very sharp impulse. Something like this one happened. See? This trade to the downside. So once you get a trade like that going down, you know you can make money, right? Because once you're in the sell, you don't have to worry. So it will just go. That's it. There is no pullback. This is correction. This is what kills you when you try to trade in here because you have no clue when it's going to pull back. This is not pulling back that much. This is going to make small corrections and go. So if you know when to trade it, if you know how to trade it, and if you understand patterns and you know like this is ideal and this is how you manage those trades, you're great. If you don't, you can join us. You're welcome to join us, right? We will train you. We will take the patience and the time to train you. We will give you the theory. We will give you the practice. By the way, someone stole one of my ex-traders because he's not in the group anymore, stole my recordings and was selling it. And we hand him over to the police. Actually, in his country, I think he's going to be in big trouble because we caught him trying to sell it. We have all the conversations of him trying to sell it, and we copied everything, and we passed that over to the police. They will do the job now of finding him and prosecute him for that. Because the webinars are mine, they have me in them, and he's selling them, right? Yep. I'm not even worried about that anymore. Just because, in any case, if you bought that from him, the first thing is the police may get your name, and if you buy it illegally from him, because you know it was illegal deal. He was telling everybody what he's doing is illegal, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is No, I don't want to give out that thing. You will know. And the second thing is, it will not help you. Believe me, without the training that we are doing, you can ask any of my traders. Without that training, you wouldn't make heads and tails from those videos. You would probably learn a few things, but it wouldn't worth the deal. I can promise you that. The most amazing thing we have in our group is the training sessions. It's 6 weeks of training, intensive training, and the live access to our 2 daily webinars and our trading room. You get that for free for the rest of your life. If you bought those webinars from him illegally, you're not going to get that access. So just to let you guys know, right? So if he's contacting one of you, you probably don't want to take the deal. Actually, he contacted somebody, and that person just called me. A very good friend of mine called me and said, what is this whole news about this guy selling your videos, right? I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, this guy is selling your videos, man. Amazing, right? Although he knows he was not supposed to. He's telling the guy that what I'm doing is illegal, but he's trying to make some fast money out of the work that I did, which is, it's kind of not so nice. Just to tell you, right? So the group we have is amazing. Really amazing people in that group. So if you're planning on joining us, please do so. Stick around to the end of the webinar after the question session. I will tell you all about it. So now we will be opening for questions. I don't want to go too much into details in the charts. I'll be posting those out on TradingView. You have an idea what big moves we are looking for now, and I'll be following them up daily on the TradingView. The CAD Yen, okay, let's do that since that will be the last request, because if everybody started to post requests, people are going. You see, it started already. No, we're not going to do that. That's it. It's over. It started already. Somebody won the CAD Yen, somebody won the Punkan, somebody won the Aussie Yen, then somebody won silver, then somebody won. This is gonna be a non-stop thing. So that's it. We'll just have to end it right there so that we don't get it. Since I'm already in the CAD Yen, the sell setup is about to happen. Wait for the breakout. Wait for it to break, wait for it to consolidate, and then sell it. If you have a plan on how to do that, right? Let's not go there, because you see what started, right? It's better for me to take questions, not questions and show me a chart. Questions and basic things we do. What are the questions you have? Like somebody's asking something. Questions and wave theory, whatever you want to know. What do I think about advanced patterns? You can go to my trading view, you guys have, I post the link of all my videos, my YouTube videos there. There is a video on advanced patterns. So you guys should go and look at it, right? What I think, I don't think I don't think that the advanced patterns are wrong or they don't work, but I think they're very primitive. They're basic concept, and the chart does not work by that basic concept. The basic concept is you're going to have an impulse and you're going to have a 1, 2, 3 correction. That's what all advanced patterns are trying to tell you. And then you're going to go down or you're going to go up. Depends on which way you're looking at, bearish or bullish advanced pattern. This is the basic concept. Whether they're, which fib is going to come back, and they like to argue over that, which fib it should come back to and all of that. And they're arguing over that because here's the reason why they argue over that. They don't have a clue what structure is doing. So you can pull up an advanced pattern. Let me see. Let me find one here. Look, you can pull it up. This is what it looks like, right? They will see something like this. And let me just start it back. They'll be looking first for an impulse. They'll look for an ABC correction. And then they'll be going down, right? And they're expecting this to come down. But that's a basic concept of wave theory, that you will have an impulse, you will have an A, you will have a B, and you will have a C correction, right? That's the very basic concept. The chart does not work like that. It's not a simple ABC principle. Wave patterns do not work like that. Every now and then, you are going to get an ABC. Every now and then, you are going to get an ABC, and that means your advanced pattern will work perfect if you put it correctly. Most of the time, you're not going to have the correction looking like a perfect ABC pattern, coming back to all those strip structures perfectly. It will not happen, and that means your pattern will not work. Very simple. It wouldn't work. And that is why they said we follow the rules. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, because they don't have a clue which one will work and which one wouldn't work. What would give you a clue which one, you can actually, if you can merge advanced patterns with structure, you'd be an amazing trader trading, because you will choose the ones that you know have a high probability of working, because now you have an understanding of what structure is doing. So, but here's the thing. Once you learn what structure is doing, you don't need the advanced patterns anymore, because you already know what structure is doing. The advert pattern is just a guideline that you don't need. Because now you've learned. It's like you've gone to university. You don't go back and say, "Oh, I need to finish primary school or I need to finish high school." You're in university, my friend. You know that stuff already, right? You don't go back and try to rewrite math in primary school because you failed it there and now you're in university, right? You don't do that. You're way above that. Once you learn how the structure works, you don't need the advanced patterns. That's why I don't put them on. Is there any correlation around impulse, strength, and length of subsequent correction? No, there isn't. Absolutely none. Zero. Anybody tell you there is has no idea what they're talking about. It's a guess. It's a wild guess, and it could probably or not happen. There is absolutely no correlation as to how much it should go. I think there's one that failed right now. There's a lot of them that failed. We're not going to look at it. What do you need to know before taking your course? What you need to know? Let's take some more questions and then I'll talk about a course. Like 5 minutes, we need to talk about a course only. So if there is no correlation, your take profit is varied. No, my take profit does not vary. We have a specific way of looking where we take profit. Like I said, it depends on how the structure is going. If we see that structure has more to go, we will keep our trade. If we see that structure is changing and it does not have more to go, we get out for break even, or we take a small loss, or we take a small profit. It all depends on how the structure is going to go. Let me give you a good example of that. By the way, that's a nice question, something like that. So remember I posed the Euro Aus and the Euro CAD trade to go up, and that will answer that question that you're asking. Varies on what we do with it. And that's why I said it's the group. You have to be in our group to have that amazing training. You will not get it by looking at my videos. And here is the first one. Remember this chart? I posted it for the up trade. Everybody remember that this is your sharp impulse, and we are anticipating a big move to the top. We're looking at this daily structure. Maybe it's in the daily. Let me post it. Yeah. We're looking at this daily structure, and by the way this structure is telling us, we are thinking that there is a possibility for one more upside on this. Right? This is pretty normal. We're looking at that structure, and we say that structure has a probability to go one more up. And then we said, let's see if it is going to happen. And we got that bounce. And once we got that bounce, we said, this is amazing. That's a very sharp impulse up. And that means we may get that move to the upside. So let's see what happened to the trade and how we managed the trade. I'm going to show you step by step. Right? Let me open the chart. Okay, it's not opening. Can I close it now? I was trying to open the one that I posted so you guys could see those who missed it, those who didn't see it. Anyway, let's go to the 4 hour. We'll come back. We can't go. We have to wait for it to find it. Good. So let's look at this. We had that sharp impulse and we started to get a corrective structure. And we were like, this is amazing, guys. This is your trade. Buy. I had a buy set up there. We bought, right? Your stop was here. This was your stop when we bought that. When it came here and it started to come down back, I said, guys, move it to break even. So we took a break even trade there. Because this structure should be going. It should not be coming back. When it came back here and it made this structure, we said, buy again. That's what we did in our room. We said, buy again, put our stop here. It went up sharp, perfect, came back, went up sharp, perfect, came back, and it started this. And I said, guys, move to break even. Some of our traders took out some profit because we looked at this C wave going up here. And this is what this C wave tells us. I don't think I'm supposed to be giving you guys all of this, but I'll give you just because you're nice people. We saw this structure and we know that this structure is over. Some of our traders exit there. And then we said if they break this low here, we will start to wait for a corrective structure to sell. See? So once we are in a trade, we start managing it in our trading rooms. We start looking at what the structure is creating because this is not an impulsive structure anymore. It is an impulsive structure, but it's not going the way, an aggressive way we want. It's going more as an ending diagonal, an expanding ending diagonal. That means that will stop, and it's going to go down again, right? And we figured it out very early in our trading room. We said, guys, be careful. You may want to exit this trade. Some of our very aggressive traders even thought of selling it here. I don't know whether they sell that. I can't remember whether they sell it or not. But I said if you sell it, move to break even very fast. We don't know what they're going to do. Now we see that it turned out to be a very good sell. But we wouldn't have sold it in our room as a trade call unless it breaks this structure. Where are we going now? This thing has amazing way to go. This will be one hell of a trade when it goes. Let me show you that structure we're looking at now. We're looking at this structure here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the structure we're looking at now. Coming down here and then doing this. But as you see, it will not come in a straight line. See this one here? You had corrections there, you had corrections here, you had corrections here. You had corrections in here, you had corrections in here. So very big corrections. You're not expecting a straight line to go. So this is moving pretty nice. At this point, I think this may give us a nice trade here. And then we may see bigger corrections before they go down. Right? So this would be amazing. This would be a really nice trade. This shows you how we manage trades. Sometimes they don't go. Right? So our take profit depends on what the structure is doing as the trade develops. And if this was going to the top, I can guarantee you that. If this thing had continued to go up the way we thought it was going to go up, we will take our profit way at the top here. We had no intentions of getting out of that trade unless the structure changes. And that's the whole thing about structure, is that you're monitoring these structures twice daily. I'm telling you about 2 daily updates that I do, 2 daily webinars updating the charts. So you get update twice daily, understanding what they do. That is how we can exit trades when they're bad, and we can look at better trades, keep them when they're good trades. I may have missed like 100 questions. Let me see if I can go back and get them. Don't ask me to show you one chart. We're not going to do that right now. Everybody wants a chart, and we have 161 people in the room. There was 171. 10 people either drop or left. Those who didn't get the one trade they come for, they probably left. What do you need to know before taking this? Excuse me. What is a good plan for selling, buying a breakout? You will have to figure that out yourself because it depends on your understanding of structure and how you trade them, right? You can also change and structure something like advanced patterns, or you stick to it once it's formed. I am not sure I understand that question. What you mean? We change our take profit depends on how the structure changes as we trade them. What if you know it has more to go, but you also know there is a correction coming? Then we keep the trade. That's a good question. If there is a correction coming, but the pattern is a continuation pattern, we sometimes keep that trade and live through the correction. As a matter of fact, I've lost a couple hundred trades. Not lost, I've given up back a couple hundred trades, trying to keep trades that has a pattern showing us that it's a continuation pattern. Eventually, it turns out it didn't really go that much as we thought, and I ended up giving up 120, and then I did something. That was on the euro yen. Right? And I think I've mentioned that before. That happens sometimes. I'm like a 50, 60, 100 pips up. I move it to break even, waiting for the pattern to continue. It was showing sign of continuation. It did change. By the time it changed, it came back, take me out. And that's okay. That's part of trading, right? We're pretty normal with that. Sometimes it may come and even take my stop loss out because I thought the pattern was showing continuation. We saw that. The correction came much deeper than we expected it to come. The euro has a good example of that. You have a very deep correction that you didn't expect, but the pattern has not changed. The general pattern has not changed. Let me show you the euro, for example, for that. Some of you may have seen this. So let's look at the euro in a 4-hour. So here was the euro chart going up after this point here. We had this trend going up. See this here? And what we said was, this was our trade. We bought this. We got here. And when this started to come down, we said, it's probably going to be something to about this level and then go back up. Follow? So some of us who were in these trades from these levels, we kept it. We put it to break even, only to get a break even trade, giving up back all of that. Because the intention was that they were going to take this out. Here was the plan. The intention was they're going to come from here and take out this stop. Well, what they did was a deeper correction before they go. And that is part of the structure. It's still a continuation structure, but only after a much deeper correction. We thought about a deeper correction. We just didn't expect it here. And the reason we thought about it was previously what they did here. They had these very deep corrections, 3-wave pattern corrections before they go up, right? And we looked across the chart here on the daily, and put it in the daily, you could probably see that. And we thought that they may make a similar pattern here as this three-wave pattern. We didn't thought it was going to break. We said they'll probably stick within this range here for a three-wave and then go. That would have given us a chance to exit the trade for more profit. That didn't happen. We gave up a lot of profit, but that's okay. You see, here's the thing. There are times when you're going to get these trades and you get 10, 15 to 1. And there are times when you get a lot of break-even trades because you're in a corrective structure. Like I said, we knew this is a corrective structure. It's not like new to us or it's not a surprise to us. We know it's a corrective structure. We just thought that it probably would do this. From here, it's probably going to come to this level and then do that. And that was a little too early, right? The same thing here. We think that this is going to make a correction here, and we will buy this correction for it to do that. It may not do this. And if it doesn't do that, we may end up with a break-even trade. Personally, I don't. Some of my traders do. That is the last question. Somebody asked, do you take some off for profit areas? Personally, I don't. Some of my traders do that. I don't like to do that because I feel very bad for myself when it goes 200 pip more and I took off half of the profit and now I'm only half of the profit in the next 200 pips. Darn. Why did I do that? I'll live with the break even. I'm much more comfortable to live with a break even trade if it doesn't go. And to take off the profit, watch it go and then beat yourself up for being so stupid. A break-even trade is a break-even trade. So what? The structure didn't go exactly as you thought it was going to go. Remember, these are forecasting, right? These are not fortune tellers. These are forecasting. We do forecast based on structure we see. They're 90% correct, right? Every one of them, the forecast doesn't work perfectly. The pattern still remains intact. But the point at where we thought it was going to turn didn't work perfect. That's all. What else? Let's see. I missed a lot of questions. What if you know what it is go? Oh, yep, I answered that question. You also change structure sometimes. I don't know what that question is. Can you take a look at all? No, we will not do that. Thanks for stressing. The direction of the correction can change during the correction. Yep, corrections do change. Correct. If you learn anything about corrective patterns, you will know you will know when and how they change. Can you please pause this webinar? I will. Is it recorded? Yes. What are the payments? Payment plan. I'll talk about the course. Give me 5 minutes more. Can I check? Do you wait for the candle formation after breakout? No, we'll not talk about our strategy. Our strategy is reserved for our room, for our trading room. You will have to work a strategy out on your own. We don't look at news event. That's a good question. We don't look at news event. If we trade a news event, we are trading the technical trade with momentum in the news event. If it goes in the direction of the technical trade, if it doesn't, we ignore it totally. I don't know. Somebody asking what currency you should deposit your money in. That's your personal choice. You can do it any currency. Okay, so let's go. Some of you are asking about about the course we do. So let me tell you what the room is about, and then you'll have an idea what we do. So first, we have a group of traders. We have a trading room. 2, we do 2 daily webinars. That is an 8 a.m. London and 8 a.m. New York. That is when the market opens. 2 daily webinars. That's what you get. These are absolutely free if you're part of our group. You get that absolutely free for the rest of your life. You don't have to pay to be in the trading room. You don't have to pay to be in these webinars. We do not take subscription. We allow our traders to have the freedom of not having that pressure of they have to pay subscription at the end of the month or they'll be kicked out of the room. We don't do that. We're not making money out of traders' subscription. That's not the point. Right? We are training you. We're helping you to learn to trade. So all you will be paying for is 6 weeks of my time. That's what you'll be paying for. 6 weeks of my time. This 6 weeks is structured like this. 1 week, week 1, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. New York, I do a class on a topic. We do like about 10, 12, everything you need to know about trading. Just think about this. Everything you need to know about trading, we will do. So for 1 week, we do classes from 6 to 7 a.m. I do those classes. And then 2 weeks after that, you get training with some of my best traders. You get training, actually training sessions. These training sessions are different. They're during the day from 11 to 12 from 11 to, no, from 10 to 12, from 11 to 13, from 18 to 21, and from 20 to 22, all London time. Those are training sessions during the day. So you can join any one of those training sessions for 2 weeks. And then we have one more week of classes. And then we have 2 more weeks of training. That is how the 6 week goes. So 4 weeks of trainings, 2 weeks of classes. And after you've finished all of this, now you're actually starting. When you finish the course, now you get started. You go into the trading room, you share your views, you share your charts, you share your ideas, you discuss it with traders, and you take trades. Every couple months, we do what we call a marathon. That is from 8 a.m. Moscow time to 8 p.m. Moscow time with 1 or 2 breaks in between. I am going to do practical sessions with any one of you who wants to do it. Any one of my traders who finish the course gets a chance to do a practical session with me. They get about 30 minutes to prepare their charts, show me it, and we look at it, we make corrections, we discuss it, and we said where they're making mistakes. So for the rest of your life, you're going to have these practical sessions as long as I'm here to do them. If I don't do it, one of my top traders will do it. So we have 4 top traders who are helping you right now, and we may increase that because when you do trading sessions, it happens in very small group of about 10 to 15 traders, not more than that. Very small group of traders because you cannot train in very large groups, right? So we break the groups up into smaller groups, and then you're getting very intensive training within the smaller groups. Your training is just starting when you finish the course. That's the beginning of your training, not the end of it. The course is only to pass the knowledge over to you. And now, after the course, you really start implementing that knowledge, the knowledge you have. And then you have 2 weeks, 2 daily webinars to cement that, and you have the trading room to keep training. Time frame of trades, I'm not sure what that means. Which trade you're taking, what time frame we trade all time frame. We look at all time frame before we decide to trade. We always start a chart from the monthly. That's how we start looking at charts, from the very top of it, the monthly, so that we have an idea what the biggest structure is doing. I think you're in the wrong room, viewer 412. You're not late. You're probably in the wrong room. We're not calling trades here. You just joined the wrong room. I didn't make a trade call. If you took it on your own, right? Remember that. I just tell you what we would have done if we were in, right? If we were in the room looking at this trade, I told you guys what we would have done, right? I'm not giving you a trade call so that you don't know. If you make money, good. Congratulations. If you're making money and you understand what to do, and you take the trade, right? My next training is in June, but if you wait until June, the course will be filled. The course is already half filled, which means you can join us anytime. All you need to do is add me to Skype. I will give you all the details. My Skype ID is MANGAL457. Add me to Skype. I will give you all the details, and you will make the payment, and then you will get into our group. You immediately get access to everything in the group once you join. And in June, you will do your practical sessions. We have a very you can check here's what you can do. You can go and check the trading view charts and see what is our accuracy rating in compared to any other traders who use a different methodology. Right? It's not about us, it's about the method we use to trade. What is my policy for account trading? People keep calling me, and here's what is funny. A guy called me, and for half an hour he's drilling me about account trading, and I keep telling him, well, I may not be interested in yours. And then I said, okay, the limit order to enter is 100K. That's 100,000. That would be the limit if you want me to manage your account. And the guy said, no, I have a $5,000 account. I said, my friend, when I click a trade, I'm $5,000 drawdown in that trade when I click it. And you want me to manage your $5,000 account. I click a trade, and if it goes against me, I'm already $5,000 in the drawdown. So, please, we're not discussing managing trades here. I have one investor, and he's pretty much financially okay. So far, we're building an account for a special purpose. I'm trading for him only. You guys can see that account. It's on YouTube. I'm still trading it. At the end of this year, again, I'll show you it. At the end of last year, I show you. At the end of this year, I'll show you. At the end of every year, we'll make it public. Right? No, you don't get to see the trainings, but you get to see the webinars and you get to see the classes. If you join now, you will get access to the classes, the recordings, but you will not get access to the training. The training is something you have to do, right? The training, you will be in the training room getting training, you know. So you have to be there to have the training. Can we participate and take trade calls once we subscribe before June in the trade? View 197, good question, but here is the idea. Once you join the room, we stop you from trading. Once you started the course, we stop you from trading. Because we're training you. We want you to grab the concept. We want you to have the knowledge. And when you have the knowledge, then you can trade. So you're looking, well, here's what you're looking for one trade. Give me a trade now today. That will not make you a good trader. We're trying to make you a good trader. So when we teach you to trade, then that question you're asking disappears immediately. You no longer ask for a question, can you give me a trade? Because you're going to get trades daily. You're going to see the setups we look at. You will have an understanding of what we do. If you're just asking for a trade now, it's a waste of time. That will not help you. Any more questions before we close? You're training. Somebody asked a question. I'm training with the Wave Principle book. Which program you use to paint on the desktop? That's Zoom It. You can copy that. Go to Google and Google Zoom It. Oh, your training would be different from what we will be teaching you in the room. I can guarantee you about that, right? What do you need to know before starting this course? If you're very, very beginner, join the course, and one of our senior traders could run you through some basic stuff before we start the course in June. So you have time for that. If you join now and you said you're a beginner, I'll hook you to one of our top traders, and he's gonna do a couple free classes for you personally. He'll run you down into a couple classes free through the basic stuff, and you'll be ready for it. You just need to know all the basic stuff. At least we'll tell you what to read first before June comes. How feasible is the course for part-time traders? That depends on the size of the account you're trading. If you're trading a $1,000 account, then it's not feasible. Because even if you double the account in a year, you only make $1,000. If you're trading a $100,000 account as a part-time trader and you double it in a year, you're okay, right? That depends on how much you're trading. It doesn't depend on what type of trader you are, part-time or full-time. MACD4C. I don't know what the question that MACD4C. If you're interested in that, you have to get that from Victor. He created that. We call it our VMAC. If I want to be able to attend the training teaching sessions, will they be recorded? They're all recorded, yes, but the training is not recorded. You have to be there for the training, right? Training is literally training you to trade. But like I said, the training is in 4 sessions for the day, so you can manage one of them. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. One of those sessions in a 24-hour span of time is going to work for you. I don't have a website. I've never intended on training people, so I didn't create the website. You don't need a website. Believe me, those websites are for hypes. Those are for advertisements, all kind of hypes, and so we don't need those hypes. We have people who are serious about trading, so we don't need to give you hypes. Recording video for sale. I personally, I hate the idea. I'll tell you why. I hate that idea because personally, I don't think you can learn from the videos. A lot of people ask me to sell my videos to them. And I said, if I gave you, I'll be honest to you, if I can sell it to you, people are willing to buy it for $1,500, maybe $2,000. I can sell it to you, but it will not help you. The training is what makes the difference. But what I'm considering now, since a lot of people are asking for it, is that we may sell the videos, but with the intention that you are going to come for the training later on. So you pay part of the money, you get the videos, and you pay the second part and you come for the training because we want you to get the training. The training is what makes the difference. But if you need the videos to see the stuff and understand why you need the training, we may consider doing that. I'm thinking about doing that, right? As a part, if I think people are just buying the videos because they just think they can learn on their own, they will not. I'll be just taking your money and you will not learn to become a trader. And then the whole concept we have will go down the drain. I don't want that to go down the drain. So we may be able to sell it so that you can learn from it. And then you will say, okay, I think I need the training session. Now I'll join you for the training session. A lot of people are asking me, so I'll consider it. I'll talk to my guys who are involved in the training and so on. We'll work something out. But believe me, once you look at that, you will know you need the training. I really, personally, we have people in the room for 3-4 months taking the course and still needs help in understanding the concept. And they have the videos and they have the training session and they still need help sometimes. So I don't see how you will use those videos. You will just buy the videos, put them aside, and it's gonna waste your money. I'm trying to save you from not spending your money crazily by doing that. That's what I'm trying to do. Save you from not spending your money crazily. You can join. If you're in university and you have time to trade, you can join us. Like I said, the training is 24 hours, so you will have a time there that will fit you for the training. So, okay, guys, I want to thank all of you for coming. All the people who are interested in the course are here. Those who are not are already gone. We had about 179 as the highest, I think. 70 something, if I can remember, as the highest. We didn't make 80 something. I was hoping for 200 people. So the next webinar, I'm hoping you bring a friend along, so we're going to double the amount of people we have in the room. Right? Thank you for coming. Have a nice day, a nice evening for some of you, nice day for those of you who are just waking up. Trade with care, and I would see you sometime next week or the week after, right? If you want to join us, Skype me. Add me to Skype. Tell me you need on the course you want the info for the course, and I'll send it to you. Right? Take care. See all of you. Bye bye. Thank you for coming again.